Hi all, welcome to Concept-Wise Learning Hub. In today's class, we are going to discuss one of the most important topic from teaching aptitude, that is characteristics of adult learner. So now let's first understand who is an adult learner. A adult learner are generally self-directed, goal-oriented and practical. They prefer learning that is useful in solving real life problems rather than simply memorizing facts. This approach to adult learning is known as andragogy, a concept popularized by Malcolm Knowles. Unlike children, adults learn because they have a purpose, such as career growth, acquiring new skills, or personal development. So we have to remember the name Malcolm Knowles. He is associated with andragogy or adult learning. Now let's look into the first characteristics of adult learners, that is academic characteristics. Adult learners already have rich life and work experience and they connect new knowledge with these experiences. They prefer practical and problem centered learning rather than purely theoretical explanation. They also value flexibility because many adults balance studies with work and family responsibilities. Another important feature is that adults are independent learners. They like taking responsibility for their own learning. For example, a working professional attending an online certification course wants knowledge that can be applied directly in the workplace. So, adults learn best when the content is relevant, practical, and flexible. Let's move on to the next topic, social characteristics. Adult learners come from different educational, cultural, and professional backgrounds. These diverse experiences enrich classroom discussions. They value mutual respect and expect teachers to treat them as equal. Adults also enjoy collaborative learning where they can share ideas and learn from one another. Unlike adolescents, they are usually less influenced by peer pressures and more interested in meaningful discussions. So, always remember adult learners learn effectively through discussions, collaborations, and experience. Let's move on to the next topic, emotional characteristics. Adults are generally more emotionally mature and stable. However, some may lack confidence, especially if they are returning to education after a long gap. Many adult learners are motivated by self improvements, career advancement, or achieving personal goals. They also appreciate a positive and supportive learning environment where their ideas are respected. For example, an employee pursuing higher education may initially hesitate to participate in class but gradually becomes confident with engagements. As teachers, creating a supportive atmosphere is essential for adult learners. Now let's understand cognitive characteristics. Adults are capable of analyzing, evaluating, and reflecting on information. They don't just memorize concepts, they try to understand and apply them. They are able to connect classroom learning with their real life experiences. Another important characteristic is self directed exploration. Adults enjoy researching topics independently and finding solutions on their own. So we have to remember adult learners perform at higher levels of Bloom's taxonomy, such as analyzing, evaluating, and creation. Now let's compare adolescents versus adult learners. Academically, adolescents require more guidance and structure, whereas adults are self directed and practical. Socially, adolescents are strongly influenced by peers, while adults value collaboration and respect. Emotionally, adolescents experience mood swings, where adults are generally more mature and so emotionally stable. Cognitively, adolescents are beginning to develop abstract thinking, where adults have a strong analytical thinking and reflective thinking skills. Therefore, motivation also differs. Adolescents are more motivated by external factors like marks and grades, whereas adults are mainly motivated by internal goals such as career growth or personal development. Finally, the teacher's role changes. For adolescents, the teacher acts as an instructor and guide, whereas for adults, the teachers become facilitators and learning partner. Now let's understand what is individual differences. Individual differences means that no two learners are exactly alike. Students differ in many aspects such as intelligence, aptitude, personality, interest, attitudes, learning styles and background. Some differences related to mental abilities while others involves personality traits like behaviors and attitudes. These differences are found in every classroom. Therefore, teachers should never expect all students to learn in the same way or at the same pace. A good teacher recognizes these differences and adapts instructions accordingly. Next, we will understand what causes these differences among learners. The first factor is hereditary. Learners inherit traits such as intelligence, physical characters, and certain abilities from their parents. The second factor is environment. Family, school, teachers, friends, and cultures all influence a learner's development. The third factor is socio-economic status. Access to quality education, learning resources, technology, and family support also affects learning. So remember these three major causes: hereditary, environment, and socio-economic factors. Finally, let's understand the educational implications. Since every learner is different, teachers should adapt teaching methods that address these differences. The first strategy is differentiated instructions. Teachers should use different teaching methods according to students' ability and learning needs. The second is flexible assessment. Instead of using only one type of examination, teacher would use various assessment methods such as projects, presentations, assignments, and quizzes. The third is encouraging cooperations. Activities like group discussions and peer learning help students learn from one another. The key message is effective teaching is learner centered, flexible, and inclusive. Let's quickly revise today's topic. Adult learners. Adult learners are self directed, practical, goal oriented, and experience based learners. According to Malcolm Knowles, adult learning is called andragogy. We also learned that learners differ in intelligence, personality, aptitude, interests, and background. These differences are mainly influenced by hereditary, environment, and socio-economic factors. As teachers, our responsibility is to use differentiated teaching, flexible assessment, and collaborative learning to meet the needs of every learner. If you found the lecture useful, please like, share, and subscribe to Concept Wise Learning Hub, clear concept for smarter study. Thank you for watching. See you in next class.